I was like, Joe, you have to stop talking.
Yeah.
You have to stop saying that.
Yeah. That's a wild one.
Nobody wants to hear what you get off on. But like that, I enjoy that. You know what I mean? I like entertaining at my house, and when I put together a great meal and pair it with a dope whiskey or a great bottle of wine or so on and so forth, and you just see people's minds go, especially when it's something that they don't expect, something that's outside of their comfort zone. And you know, a lot of people, especially in the Black community, we are very hesitant to go outside of our comfort zone.
Right.
Whereas it concerns food and drink. Like, I like what I like. I like what my mama made. You know what I'm saying? And it's not just us. You know, I don't mean to throw us under the bus. There's a ton of people who are like that, but there is a whole world of experiences and memories to be had. So it started with wine, but I feel like it is kind of, we're going to be in the whiskey sphere for a while. I had a very strong beer phase. So if you ferment it, I probably know a little something about it, but bourbon and whiskey in general is it, as you can tell right now.
Yeah, and you, like you say, you self-identified as a nerd, started with the science, biology, and what everything you're describing, like that is a very scientific process to create these things, wine, beer, whiskey. But actually, I want to know, like, how would you just describe your overall experience at UNC? Because you had, you know, maybe what you expected, what you thought before you got there, but how would you just describe your overall experience at the university?
Overall, love my alma mater. We have a very complicated relationship, however, as I'm sure a lot of Black folks will tell you, the experience for many of us at a PWI can be an interesting experience, and many of us can thrive through it, but there is a level of adversity that exists in so many of those situations that is difficult for many students of color, right? It's not just Black kids. If you are a Native student, if you are an Asian student, your experience can be difficult at a PWI, right? And if we look at what is currently going on with the numerous attacks on historically Black fraternities and sororities, like, to pretend that animus is new is, I mean, you're fooling yourself, right? Like, that sort of nature, this idea of trying to rein in Black students, like, we want you here, but we need you to stay in this little area right here. So even if you look back before me, long before me at UNC, there has been a history of struggle to some extent for many students, both publicly and privately. If you look at the story of the founding of the Sonia Hayes Black Cultural Center, I mean, it was difficult, right? And Black students have long had to march and boycott in order to find their place. And I think that evolves. One of the things that stood out to me, especially as a Brooklyn boy, when I first got down here, was hearing from people how liberal Chapel Hill is. And then you go on a tour, and the first thing we saw was Silent Sam. And I'm like, well, who's Silent Sam? And then they're like, oh, well, that's a Confederate soldier. And I'm like, man, you got a Confederate soldier in your front yard, and you talk.
The losers are in the front yard. Yeah.
I mean, yeah,
Proud
right.
Losers. Yeah.
So, I mean, it was very clear that, like, hey, man, look, if you got a Confederate soldier on your front yard and you have a number of buildings named after extremely racist and or straight up Confederate individuals,
yeah,
you are not as liberal as you think you are, right? Like you might be liberal compared to Jesse Helms, North Carolina, or Strom Thurmond, South Carolina, but like coming from BK, I don't know. Like, you ever seen The Princess Bride?
Yeah.
Like, you keep using this word liberal. I don't think it means what you think it does, you know?
Mm-hmm. It's liberal for here is what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, you know, since I'm really happy to see the change, a lot of the change that's happened on UNC's campus, right? It's like to come on campus as a former student and to see that many buildings' names have been changed, and some more still need to come down, right? But to see that the liberal element is there, right? That's the part that I love about the school, and that's the place in which I felt comfortable. But you know, like I said, my relationship with my alma mater is complicated, but I will always, and forever be a Tar Heel, and am happy for my time there, because experience isn't just about things being positive. It's the ability to succeed through adversity and to take the lessons with you.
Yeah, for sure. You got any favorite Franklin Street spots from back in the day that, whether they exist or not, did you have any go-tos back then?
Oh man. So whatever the club was, I think at one point it was Element, but in the old Bank of America building on the Rosemary Street side.
Mm-hmm.
Up until they changed it to like that awkward spot with all the beds in it, because I just no, that's not no. That was when I realized I was too old for the club.
Yeah.
Yeah, that, and of course I feel like everybody went to Avalon. If you were in Chapel Hill between like 2000 and 2000 and, you know, I don't know, whenever they closed because started getting shot.
Right. Avalon was definitely a very popular spot, yo. Yeah, because, you know, as growing up in Durham, we used to go out to UNC all the time to parlay, but yeah, we didn't get much love from the brothers on campus. I have to say, man, they really didn't want the Durham on campus like that, from my experience.
It's not just the Durham. We didn't want any on campus. Like we.
Oh man.
I don't know if you've ever heard about the ratio, but the ratio was something that was greatly appreciated. And if you arrive with a penis, you are adversely affecting the ratio. So why are you here?
Yeah, man. Y'all are territorial, man. That is crazy.
Look, go back to your own campus where the ratio is not as good, which is why you find yourself here.
Hey, look, I gotta admit, man. Hey, look, like I said, man, I got a lot of love out of Carolina, man. It's always been loved out there, but not with the fellas, man. It's always been the ladies, and I having to overcome where I'm like, man, how I'm gonna navigate this situation right here. like, but I appreciate you being honest though, because that's I be telling people, I be like, man, y'all Carolina, man, why y'all act like y'all want no on campus, man? Why y'all acting like that? And they act like, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm like, y'all know exactly what I'm talking about, man. Y'all don't want us over there.
But you know what's funny? Like, I didn't have a problem with like cats from like random Durham. Like, if you live in Durham and you come to kick it, man, I don't give a like, come on through. It was the cats who I knew who were coming from like actually thirsty campuses. Like, if you went to state, you went to North Carolina State University, and you frequently came to our campus. Like, nah, man, go back to Raleigh. Yeah. I know it's hot, and I know it's a bunch of unhappy dudes. Like, that's unfortunate. You should have made a better choice for your college education.